It's not about perfection, it's about practice. Because when we foster this and we get better at listening to the tummy, listening to the body, picking up the signs, being able to stop eating when we're satisfied, and we haven't up to that point eaten really quickly, it means that we're going to feel comfortable after, but we're also not going to consume too much.
Welcome to the Bariatric Nutrition Coach Podcast, where we empower you with weight loss surgery, nutrition knowledge, mindset advice, and inspiration, so you succeed in your weight and health journey. I'm your host, Jane Stoltz, and I am a bariatric dietitian who has helped over 1,300 people on their weight loss surgery journeys. I'm also a solo mum, lover of long walks while listening to podcasts, partial to a glass of wine, and the ocean is my happy place. Join me as I dive deep into bariatric nutrition and lifestyle topics and deliver them to you in bite-sized, palatable episodes every Monday. Now let's go.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Bariatric Nutrition Coach Podcast. And today I want to talk all about rapid eating, eating quickly. Rapid eating is a term that we may use as a dietitian, but what it means is just wolfing your food down, eating really quickly. And I want to talk to you all about the topic and why it is important for us to manage this eating behaviour. Welcome to this episode. We're glad you're here, and let's dive in. Rapid eating. We term it rapid eating, but really it means eating rapidly, eating quickly, wolfing your food down. You might have other words or other phrases that you would use in your family at the dinner table if you notice people eating really quickly. And it is such a common habit even before people have bariatric surgery. When I was sitting in a bariatric centre looking after people from pre-surgery all the way through, and pre-surgery we would talk about eating habits, food choices and all of those things. I would say 8 out of 10 people said to me pre-surgery, yes, Jane, I eat quickly. And if they said, no, I think I eat normally, the person sitting next to them, their friend, their partner, would often pipe up and say, actually, they do eat quite quickly. It's a habit that is really quite prevalent. You think of the people, the population that are having bariatric surgery, it is one of those things that we want to really look at closely. That's why I wanted to dedicate a whole podcast to the topic. We have such busy lives. It's easy to fall into this habit. This is nothing about self-blame, nothing about beating yourself up and going, why have I been doing this? Our lives lead us to develop and foster and keep practicing this habit. We're often rushing around, grabbing food on the go, mindlessly eating while we're looking at a screen, whether it be computer, TV, iPad, phone. And we're going to dig into why it can seem like a harmless habit to be eating quickly and how it can really impact your bariatric surgery results. And that's really the key message that I want to get across today and really kind of pull apart all the different aspects to it and why the very challenging habit of learning to eat slower after your surgery is important. And as I like to say, it is easy to understand the concept of eating slower, much more challenging to do. If you remember one thing from this podcast, it is that rapid eating, eating quickly, leads people to overeat, will leave you eating too much. And if that's the only thing you remember from this episode, I've really done my job, because that is the underlying key reason why we want to manage rapid eating. The outcomes that come from eating rapidly go way beyond just that feeling of being uncomfortable after a meal. It really does impact your short-term and your long-term progress outcomes from having weight loss surgery. Now I'm going to dive into 3 key impacts of rapid eating, 3 key areas that are really great to know about that rapid eating impacts in your bariatric journey. Number one, when you eat rapidly, you consume more calories than you need. Your body doesn't have time to signal to your brain that it's had enough, that you're satisfied. And if you listen to some of my other podcasts, I love the word satisfied. I'm going to try and not use the word full. Full means different things to different people. Satisfied is you've eaten enough, you feel comfortable. Could you eat a little bit more? Yes, but you don't need to. You want to be comfortable. And also, when we're looking at satisfied, we're really looking at feeling like that a good 15 minutes after eating, after finishing eating. It takes time for your body, for your tummy to talk to your brain and say, I've eaten enough. And that's why when we eat slowly after having a bariatric surgery, it gives our body time. It gives us time to recognize when we've eaten enough. Yes, in the early days, medium days after your bariatric surgery, it can be hard to identify those hunger and fullness cues. But in time, you get better at it. You get better at identifying it. And it's important. Now, let's talk about this area. I'll just talk about pace of eating and eating slowly. When I work with clients, we work on techniques, strategies, and very practical strategies on how to slow eating down, how to really do it in practice. And also can set times of how often we take a bite and really setting up the environment to help develop and foster the practice of eating slowly. I'm not going to tell you how slow you need to eat. It is very much personal, but so often people say to me, Jane, I eat so much slower after my surgery than I did before surgery, but I still feel like I'm eating too fast. Your body, we really listen to it when you're eating at the right pace. And yes, over time after your bariatric surgery, you're going to be able to eat a bit faster. In those early days, it can feel painfully slow. I am a big advocate of listening to the body and letting it guide you. It's a challenge, but slowing down your eating to be really slow and maybe seeing how that feels. Is it a couple of minutes between each bite? How does that pace of eating suit you? When you eat rapidly, you consume more calories than you need. What that means for your weight loss surgery journey is we can eat more calories even in the weight loss phase. If you're in your weight loss phase and you're eating too quickly, overeating at meals and snacks, you're consuming too much energy. That can, one, slow down your weight loss progression in your weight loss phase. When you've left your weight loss phase, if you're overeating, you're often eating past that satisfied feeling, that can lead to weight regain. In a nutshell, overeating leads to extra calories, which can derail your weight loss surgery journey. Impact number 2 of rapid eating on your weight loss surgery journey. It is when you eat rapidly, you can be cycling between discomfort and overhungry. And let me tell you what this is all about and explain what I mean by this cycling between discomfort and overhungry. When you overeat and you have that level of discomfort of I've eaten too quickly, I've eaten too much, you can feel very uncomfortable. And often you can feel full up for longer. When it comes to your next meal time, the next time when you kind of schedule to eat, you don't feel like eating. You can skip that meal. People often do. They think, I just don't feel hungry and needing something to eat. And then they go on with their day. And by the time they get to their next meal, or even if it's in between kind of meal times, they can start feeling really hungry. Hunger and fullness cues change after weight loss surgery, and sometimes they're not there as strongly and clearly as before your surgery, but they're still there at a cellular level. You can think, okay, well, I missed the last meal. It's not quite ready for the next meal, but I think I need to eat that desire to snack and graze, maybe mid-afternoon, for example, and you start eating and you can't eat slowly because at a cellular level, you're behind now and you overeat because you're eating rapidly. You've gone from that discomfort, kind of not eating for a longer period of time, and then you start eating, you're over hungry, you can't eat slowly, you eat quickly, you overeat, and that cycle keeps on going. That cycle keeps on going over your day from one day to the next.
Now tell me, is this you? You have had your bariatric surgery and you're feeling lost, you're lacking support, and you don't know what to eat and when. Or you may have noticed after your surgery, your hunger and cravings have started to return and you are scared you won't reach your goals. You may have had some weight regain and you want to stop the weight regain and lose some more weight. You may be pre-surgery and you want support to be fully prepared for your weight loss surgery journey. If any of these sound like you, then listen up. I have developed my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp just for you. My coaching program provides education, coaching and community for people getting ready for their weight loss surgery and at every stage after their surgery.
You were so fantastic. You didn't just go, here you go, off you go. You were like, right, here you go. Let's do it step by step. And it's that step by step. If somebody's prepared to help you like that, it's immeasurable. It's priceless.
Your help just changed the game for me, right? It just changed the trajectory of my ability to understand what my body's telling me and trusting it. That was a hard one, right? Because my body, I can override it in a lot of ways in the past.
I think that hiring Jane has actually been the best thing that I've done. I was lost. I had no idea what to expect. I've never done bariatric surgery before. I've never had it done before. So yes, you have all the information from your surgeon and from their nutritionist and all that sort of stuff. If you have lifetime support, that's great. But a lot of times you don't. So you need to take that next step and invest in yourself, because that's what it is. It's the most amazing investment that I've made.
There are 4 key areas that I focus on with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp. One is the Bariatric Nutrition Basics. You will learn what and how to eat so you feel satisfied, reach your protein and fluid goals, and have less cravings, and know how to manage your hunger in the future. Meal ideas and meal planning. You'll learn to plan meals and snacks that you like, so you have great options on hand when it comes time to eat. Also, we focus on mastering weight regain habits, identifying any habits that are stopping you from reaching your goals, and create manageable strategies to get back on the straight and narrow so you can manage your weight for the rest of your life. And also, I focus with my clients in my Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp on learning to trust your body and food. Start to enjoy your food again by relearning to listen to your body cues so you have less guilt and improve your relationship with food and your body. If you are ready to maximize your weight loss surgery results, feel confident in your journey, and be led with support and expert guidance, then the Bariatric Nutrition Bootcamp is for you. If you would like to know more about my coaching program, check out the link in the show notes.
An example is when people don't eat a lot during the day after dinner in that evening time. A lot of their food consumption can eat a lot. Wake up in the morning, don't have that same appetite for breakfast. Can have nothing or something very small. And then by the time they get to mid-morning or lunchtime, really hungry, and then overeat, and then not eating much in the afternoon because they feel uncomfortable from lunchtime, get through to kind of dinner, and then their body's driving them in that evening time to catch up again. And then that cycle perpetuates. So just to recap on this impact of rapid eating on your weight loss surgery journey, you can cycle between that overfull discomfort after a meal of overeating when you've eaten too rapidly, and then extreme hunger, being over hungry. And then when you enter your next meal over hungry, it is virtually impossible to eat slowly. Your body is going to drive you to eat quickly. And this cycles again and again. And does it result in weight loss? No, it doesn't. So many people relate to what I'm just going to share. Pre-surgery, you could eat a good volume of food to last you for hours and hours, or go through big parts of the day of not eating. But then when you get the opportunity to eat, and often it's that evening time, you catch up and overcompensate. And then that leads to some weight gain. Skipping meals, not eating for big periods of time does not result in weight loss. We know that from looking at people's diet histories again and again. And you may be listening to this saying, yep, Jane, that's how I ate pre-surgery. Ad hoc, eat a big meal, could last you for hours, didn't think about food. Then when you ate bigger volumes, and you definitely didn't find that it helped you lose weight. That's number 2, cycling between overeating discomfort and extreme or over hungry. Impact number 3 of your weight loss surgery journey of rapid eating is really a key and a big one. The others are big because when we overeat, we consume more calories, we're going to slow down our weight loss, and it impacts the outcomes that we can get from your weight loss surgery. And the third one is that when you eat rapidly and you overeat, you can stretch your stomach or pouch. And perhaps this is one of the most serious long-term consequences of eating rapidly. And it's definitely a big concern for many people after the bariatric surgery, because when you eat quickly and you eat too much, you put excessive pressure on your stomach or pouch walls. Our stomach is made from many layers of muscle. It stretches and it can stay stretched. I have a bit of a term, and I say kind of respect the sleeve, respect the stomach, meaning we don't want to be pushing on it over time and stretching it, because it does, with the muscles, it does allow some stretch, it does allow for some movement, and that's fine and good a little bit, because that's part of that whole feedback from tummy to the brain of, oh, we've eaten enough, we've had enough, we can stop eating. But when we don't listen to that and we keep pushing past it, that's when we can get stretch. Constantly eating past the point where you're feeling comfortably satisfied, you can definitely stretch your stomach or your pouch. This increased capacity basically will lead you to one of the biggest fears people have after their weight loss surgery is weight regain. When you stretch your stomach or your pouch, you can eat more over time before you get that feedback in your body giving you signs that you've eaten enough and you can stop eating. What this results in over time is stretching of the stomach leads to weight regain. So I just want to recap 3 impacts of rapid eating after weight loss surgery. Number 1, you can consume more calories than you need. You overeat, you take more energy in. And if it is in your weight loss phase, it's going to slow down the weight loss after your bariatric surgery. If you've passed your weight loss phase and you're in maintenance, it is going to lead to weight regain. Number 2, rapid eating can lead you to cycle between discomfort of being that overfull, not eating for a period, and then overeating because you're over hungry. That in turn leads to consuming more calories than you need. And the impacts are the same. If your weight loss can be less than you could be, you're not getting the most out of that phase of your weight loss surgery journey, and it can also lead to weight regain. And number 3 is you can stretch your pouch or stomach sleeve. That constant kind of pressure and kind of pushing on the sleeve, the tummy, the pouch can make your sleeve, tummy, pouch become bigger, takes more food over time to help you get to the point of being satisfied, and then that will lead to weight regain. I wanted to share this because I feel the habit of eating slowly, mindfully, and listening to hunger and fullness cues and really listening to the body and being able to stop eating when you're satisfied, it doesn't get as much attention after bariatric surgery as I think it should. Yes, we want to look at what you eat. We want to look at portion sizes. There's all these things that we want to look at and other habits to embrace as well. This is a really, really important one. When we have those small bites, chew well and eat slowly and stop when we're satisfied, we are not going to overeat. But it is challenging to do. It can feel extremely difficult. It can feel like something maybe you can do it one meal, but to do it for multiple meals for the rest of your life can be really, really challenging. But it's a habit we want to foster, practice, and embrace. It's not about perfection, it's about practice. Because when we foster this and we get better at listening to the tummy, listening to the body, picking up the signs, being able to stop eating when we're satisfied, and we haven't up to that point eaten really quickly, it means that we're going to feel comfortable after, but we're also not going to consume too much. I hope you found this episode of value. I hope it's made you consider, how fast am I eating? Do I eat quickly? Is it something I could be paying a little bit more attention to? When you do that, whenever you make changes, I always encourage you just to, with compassion, sit back and go, what do I observe? What do I notice when I eat really slowly? Let me think, okay, well, I would normally eat this over 10 minutes. What happens if I ate this meal over 20 minutes? What do I notice? What sensations do I notice? Do I eat less food? Do I get any sensations in my body that I haven't necessarily paid attention to or taken notice of? That is my invitation to you, is to kind of explore and practice things and observe. But eating slowly is such an important habit after weight loss surgery. And I hope what I've gone through today has kind of maybe sold you the idea of looking at it a little bit closer. And it's not something you think, well, that's how I am, that's how I do things. We can all change. We can all do things differently, but it does take time and it does take focus. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I hope you found it of value. I'd love to hear from you if you have any comments, any questions. There is the opportunity to ask questions in the Ask Jane. In the show notes, there's the link to Ask Jane, where you can put just your first name in and any questions in there, and you can suggest a topic or ask any questions. Thank you so much for everyone in the podcast, where you listen to your podcast. If you leave me comments there, that would be wonderful. I've seen them and I really appreciate people's comments and also people rating my podcast, because it helps people decide if they're going to listen to the podcast when they're scrolling through and there's all the options to listen to. Thank you so much, and I really look forward to being back in your ears very soon. Bye for now.